Hi guys, my name is James. For the last 3 years, my partner and I have been sailing around the world. About 3 months ago, we were involved in a shipwreck off the coast of Hawaii. Now this video is not about the shipwreck, but if you'd like more information about that, you can click up here. What this video is about is, after the wreck, I was thinking to myself, what is the one piece of gear I would like to have if I were to be shipwrecked on a deserted island? What would save my life? So the answer to that question is a 12-volt water maker. This is a Spectra water maker. It runs on 12 volts and it turns salt water into fresh water using only the power of the sun. So theoretically, as long as the solar panels and the batteries were salvageable off the boat, you should be able to hook it up on the beach, run a line down to the water, and have a near unlimited supply of fresh water. Now, I've never seen this done before, so we called Spectra and we asked permission, and we asked, could we even do this? And they said, yeah, go ahead, but you need to put a disclaimer in your video that says this is not the recommended way to run the water maker, because running it near the surf turns up a lot of sand, and if the sand gets sucked into the water maker, it could ruin it. So don't try this at home, but now that we have permission, check out what we did.
So a buddy and I grabbed his truck and set out for one of the most remote beaches in Maui. This particular beach is off limits to the public, so we had the whole day to set up our experiment. We parked as close as we could to the rocks and hauled the water maker, solar panels, battery, and all of the associated equipment down to the surf. One of the things I wanted to make sure of was that I was only using equipment that came off the sailboat. So everything you see here, all the wiring, tubing, etc., were only things already on the boat. I didn't go to the store to grab anything. Hooking all of this equipment up took a few hours. We put all 3 of the filters we had in line before the pumps so as to clean any sand out of the water. So the water getting to the pumps should have been relatively clean. Setup was pretty simple. Hook up the water maker the same way it was hooked up on the boat, with a longer suction line going into the surf, enough so it stayed submerged. That was easier said than done. And afterwards, the trick was getting everything tight enough so we didn't lose any vacuum in the feed lines, as we were maxing out the amount of lift the feed pump could provide. If you'd like a complete explanation of how this works, please click on the little eye symbol in the top right corner of the screen to watch the installation on the boat. The wiring was the easy part. We took a 100-watt solar panel, hooked it up to a $20 solar controller, and wired it straight to the battery. That, in turn, fed the pump. The panel was putting out nearly 6 amps, and this type of water maker draws about 9 amps. So theoretically, during peak hours of the sun, the water maker could have run indefinitely on 150 watts of solar. In actuality, solar panels aren't that efficient, so having a bit more solar wouldn't hurt. Overall, it was a great learning experience. It took about 4 hours to hook up and another hour or 2 to get everything tight and get the feed figured out. The surf kept grabbing the hose and throwing it out of the water. In retrospect, it would have been much easier to find a location with a tide pool that was fed by the sea but not in the surf, so we could have had a little more control over the feed water. But in the end, being in the sun all day, it felt so good to take a dip and drink the amazing purified water straight out of the water maker. We even filled a couple tanks for the ride home. Overall, the experiment was a success, and the decision to get a 12-volt water maker was a great one. After we got back to the boat, we pickled the water maker and boxed it up to take on the next boat adventure. Thank you, Spectra Water Makers.
Okay, so success. We were able to make some water from the sea directly, just using things from the boat. This can be used off the boat, and it can be used even if you don't have a boat. Say you're in a survival situation where the power goes out and the pumps stop working, and you're not able to get water to your house anymore. If you're relatively close to the coast, you can go and set this up near the sea, and it could save your life. You're gonna wanna make sure you have a 12-volt version, because these do come in 120 and gasoline powered, which therefore would be limited by the amount of gasoline you would have. If you're interested in learning more about the Spectra Water Maker, please click up here and go to my installation video, and that will tell you how it works, how to install it, and more about the technology. Hope you enjoyed the video. Till next time, much love.